Hey guys, I'm back and I'm going to review Potionomics. And I know I did a review of this just yesterday, but I was not happy with that review because I just did it on the fly and I didn't have any notes or anything. And it was a couple of months before I'd played the game already and finished it. So now I have notes and hopefully this will be a bit more straightforward. Let's just dive into one of my save files. So let's first talk about the story. So the story's pretty simple. You're on a magical island called Rafta. You've inherited your uncle's business, which is, a potion business, and obviously he's dead. So kind of like, Stardew Valley or Harvest Moon, similar premise. And we have to pay back a debt that our dead uncle left us. Unfortunately, we got some loan sharks kind of coming after us, and they've got our soul in a contract. So if we don't pay back the debt, then we have to work in some mines as a slave or something, which is obviously we don't want to be in that situation. So we have to do basically a bunch of potion showdowns. We have to participate in a potion competition with a bunch of rivals and win each one and hopefully get the grand prize money to pay off our debt. So yeah, that's pretty much the story, and it's, obviously very simple, but a game like this really does not need a complicated story. So I actually do appreciate that it's, fairly simple. So the first character we'll talk about is Sylvia. So Sylvia is just the main character, obviously. This red hair girl right here. So she's a witch that just graduated from college, and she has her potion making license and everything. And what I do really appreciate about her is her design. So obviously her design is not very witch-like. She doesn't have the whole big hat and the big cape and everything. She looks more like a carpenter or a crafts person or something like that. So yeah, she doesn't really look like a witch, but I do like her design. It looks very modern, and a lot of stuff is going on here, but it's still kept fairly simple. And I always appreciate a good character design that's kept pretty simple, not the really over the top kind of things. For her personality, I would say typically I don't really care about the main character. Usually the main character is like a blank slate, right? But she does have her own personality, which is very likable and not annoying, which is pretty rare, I think. And I did see her concept art before her previous iterations of her design, which were, I'm very glad we ended up with the design that we have now, because I just think it really fits her personality. She's hardworking, super nice to everyone, and just trying her best to, survive that huge debt her uncle left her. Let's just go and travel to each of the other people here. Let's go to Quinn. So Quinn is an ingredient vendor, so you can give him ingredients to expand your inventory. So you see a bunch of ingredients I have here I never gave to him. But yeah, you can give it to him, and once you give it to him, he'll have it in his shop. Though a quick tip here is that if you have some ingredient here that is something you'll probably only use once or twice, or is super hard and super rare to get, I would not give it to him. I would just use it up. Later on, you do get a garden where you can duplicate your items, so I'd rather use those items in the garden rather than giving it to him and having it in the shop. So yeah, definitely don't give expensive items. No. So personality wise, he is a prankster, so he likes to cause trouble to others for fun. So you can already see from here. Not exactly my type of person, but He was my second choice to romance just because I kind of like his general mood. Just super chill and not too much to say, but yeah, I just like his chilled out personality. I actually also didn't really like his design at first. I was like, when I first saw this, I was like, what is this even? What am I looking at? But the design grew on me, and I really do like his hat as well. He actually looks like a witch compared to Sylvia, which she kind of just looks like she has some kind of, craftsman job. But yeah, his whole story arc has to do with his family and his relationship with his family. So it is pretty interesting. But yeah, that's all for Quinn. Let's head over to Mint.
A few moments later.
Alright, so I had to go to my different save file to introduce you to Mint because she was out on an adventure. So yeah, she's one of the heroes, one of the 3 heroes that you can send out on an adventure to get some items. And so she is the newcomer to the Heroes Guild, and she has a very nice and simple design, and this little braid with this plant thing really puts the design all together. And she's just very nice and empathetic. I wouldn't say there's any super strong, like, unique things about her, but she's just a really nice person in general, the kind of person you'd want to definitely be friends with at least. Her whole character arc is about having imposter syndrome and, being new to the guild and trying to find her place. I mean, she's definitely somebody who I would be friends with in real life. And yeah, that's all about Mint. Let's go to Baptiste. Now, I don't know if his name is actually Baptiste. Like, I don't know how to pronounce his name. Baptiste? Yeah, I am not sure, but he is the person I did romance. In this save file, you can't see that because I'm on an earlier save file. So he is a noble who came to the Heroes Guild as the guild master, of course, to basically better the island, better the whole system of heroes. So he's very much for the people and improving things, improving the circumstances, and I really respect him for not like riding on his parents' success because obviously his parents are nobles and his brothers are all kind of carrying the family business, but he's kind of going out of his way to kind of find his own purpose, right? And yeah, I did romance him, and it is pretty cheesy, but I think it's overall pretty good support conversations. And yeah, he really tries to relate and understand the common people's problems. And functionality wise, you can invest in finding different kinds of items, so I would definitely recommend in checking these all the time because sometimes you can get some pretty good ingredients here. But yeah, this is typically how you'll get some pretty unique ingredients, and you'll be using that a lot. Now next, let's go to, okay, before I said his name was Muktuk, but it's actually Muktuk. This whole time I thought his name was Muktuk. Like, this automatically auto-corrected in my name as Muktuk, but it's actually Muktuk, right? So he is a passionate crafter and artist. He does create cauldrons and shelves. He also creates barrels as well that are used to ferment and like upgrade the potion quality. And so you will also be visiting him a lot to upgrade your things. It's very necessary to always be upgrading as much as possible in the first half of this game. You have to play very optimized and use every single time slot because the first half of this game it's very important to do so. But the second half of the game is like you could just breeze. I honestly literally just ended the days every single day for the second half because I just had so much good potions and everything. So as long as you play the first half well, you're good. So this Muktuk as a character, he talks about his ancestors a lot. I'd say he's the least relatable out of all of the characters. Maybe because he's some kind of seal thing, I don't know, but he is super passionate about his work. Maybe a little too much. And I didn't really get into his support conversations. I mean, obviously in this save file, I can't even rank him up even once. So maybe if I do read more of his support conversations, I'd like him more. But yeah, I just didn't really find a connection with this character. And also, I don't know, but his nipple really bothers me all the time. Okay. Like, I don't know. They're very detailed in everything. Anyway, let's go to Saffron. Sorry, Muktuk. We're going. I always feel bad for Muktuk when I leave him because he's just super sad. Anyway, Saffron is the carpenter where you can expand your space and put more cauldrons and shelves. And so, very useful, and you'll be using her as much as Muktuk just to also get some fuel to boil your potions faster. And personality wise, she's very chill, kind of nature girly, and it's really easy to give her gifts she likes because she likes the really basic like herbs and stuff. So yeah, and her whole character arc is actually pretty cool. She has like a secret which is actually pretty surprising, so I won't spoil it. Here I didn't level her up, but I did in my other save file. And actually, I'm not gonna lie, I thought she'd be the least popular because honestly, I don't really like her design. Like, what are these pant wing things? I'm not sure what's going on here. I do like her hat a lot though. But yeah, she actually does have some fans, so yeah, that's something. Let's go to Roxanne. So Roxanne was the very first competitor that you kind of go against in the potion competition, and she comes off as very mean, actually. But as you get to know her and kind of get closer to her, she is actually really fun and it's really nice to be with. And she does move into your basement after losing, which is pretty funny. But yeah, she does provide buffs to override bad traits on your potions. I have never used them. They're super expensive and honestly not worth it at all. Yeah, so I've never used that. Personality wise, she's pretty like prideful and mean at first, like I said, but yeah, as you get closer to her in the support conversations, she really talks about her struggles and like kind of coming up from the underground to the surface, and just learning how to adjust to living in society. So I thought that was pretty interesting, and her support conversations are pretty good. And I definitely choose her if I was a guy, but yeah. Next, we've got Sid, or Sidriel. I don't even know if I'm saying that right. But she's like the celebrity bard, and as you can see, she got us some items. She's also one of the adventurers that you can send out to get items. And so she is the celebrity bard, and the first time we meet her, she's basically hiding out in our shop to escape from some people. But yeah, when I first saw her, I thought that she has a really nice design. I really like her design, but she's just been a really boring character in general for me. I didn't really find her super interesting. Let's go to Salt and Pepper. So Salt and Pepper is like the cat combo, and no, you cannot romance them, of course, but you can become like best buddies with them. I forgot what the actual term was, but they like a blood brother bond. So obviously this one's Salt and the black one is Pepper, so Salt and Pepper. very easy to remember. And so they have the treasure chest here where you can get random items, so it's kind of like a gacha, but it is not worth it unless you have a boatload of money. But if you have a boatload of money in the first place, you wouldn't really need these probably. I have never really used them. I just did them for fun. I bought these for fun just when I had like so much money. But yeah, I would not buy these otherwise. It's pretty useless. But yeah, they are pretty nice and cute, and they kind of have that kind of dynamic of the bossy little one and the big brother kind of type of one that calms the little one down. So I did like that. That also kind of feels like a stereotype, but otherwise I still like these two, and also their theme song is great. And also I just noticed that the ship is a narwhal. Okay, I did not know that. Okay, yeah, let's go to Luna. So Luna is a bug, as you can see. Pretty sure she's supposed to be a moth, which is one of my least favorite bugs. I mean, I hate bugs in general, but moths are like something else because they're like furry, but they're like still a bug for some reason. That is just weird to me. But yeah, she's a marketer, so she can do these like promotions for you, which is not. I never use this. Honestly, I never use this, and you really do not need to use this. So this is also kind of was useless for me personally, but I could see how it could be useful, but you really don't need it. Yeah, for some reason I didn't know if she was a girl or not, but yeah, when I searched it up, she's a girl. Her whole character thing is that her parents don't approve of her job, but she really tries her best and grinds things and just really is trying to accelerate her business, and has a bunch of successful siblings she gets compared to all the time. So I guess that's pretty relatable, but not really for me. So let's go to almost forgot Corsac.
A few moments later.
Alright, we're on Corsac now, and okay, never mind. I thought I forgot to write notes on him, but I did. So Corsac is the second competitor you fight in the potion showdown. And he's all about, getting his own ingredients and brewing his own potions, so very independent of him. He's kind of like the dude that always talks about, doing the best for nature. Probably would talk about global warming, if he was a dude in the present day. But yeah, he's very survival oriented, kind of honestly freaky, because he does imitate animals sometimes. And yeah, I could tell he's like an introvert, and that's kind of his whole concept of being this like awkward introvert that, is kind of also is like he has the vibe of being raised by wild animals just because he's so weird. But yeah, I have to say he's one of my lesser favorite characters. But you can also send him on adventures, and he has really great like health and mana, so he's one of the more useful characters. And yeah, not too much to talk about him though. Honestly, he's kind of like the character I'd probably forget if I was listing all of the rest of the characters. Alright, so I wanted to talk about visuals, and obviously, as you can see, the 2D art is super amazing, same as the 3D. Animations are very satisfying and professional looking, and I know this is an indie game, and that's why I'm mentioning that. But all of the aesthetics and buttons, everything is just perfect. Honestly, I never thought anything looked out of place or anything. And it's also published by Xseed. This game is published by Xseed, which has also published a bunch of other great games. One of which is Rune Factory 4, which is one of my favorite games of all time, actually. And also the color schemes are just perfect as well. So there's really nothing to complain about, in my opinion, for this game in terms of visuals. So yeah, this game is super fun. You can like garden for more materials, brew potions by finding, the balancing these certain numbers of ingredients and stuff. Of course, having the support conversations with others. And also you can upgrade your equipment, of course, as I said, the cauldrons and shelves and things. But the main part of this game is the card game. So you can build your own deck, and there's just so many possibilities. Like each of these characters have different kind of like play styles, I guess you could say. We can go through each one. So obviously I didn't unlock everything for everyone, but Sylvia's are kind of like the very basic kinds of cards, which are not super interesting. There's not much kind of strategy you can put around it. It's just very straightforward. Next is Oswald, which is kind of this animal pet character. But his is also some of these cards can be pretty useful. They're kind of like supposed to be game changers, I guess. But I didn't really use his cards that much. Now this one is Quinn. So Quinn's cards are one of the best set of cards. You can really rack up a lot of interest with his cards. I mean, you can already tell his cards are really good. I definitely would recommend leveling him up a bit just to get his cards, even if you don't like the character, because it's really good. Muktuk is all about kind of raising interest in not super interesting ways. Not too much to talk about him. I never really used his cards. Saffron is kind of about relieving stress, which is one of the things you have to keep track of as you play your cards. When you'll definitely need to use her, maybe just like 1 or 2 cards just to manage your stress. Luna's cards are more about taking risk to maybe get slightly better results, but yeah, I also didn't really use her cards as well. Roxanne's cards are also kind of mid. There's some good effects, but yeah, I just didn't really use her cards as much. Salt and Pepper's cards are probably one of the worser deck of cards. I'd say maybe the worst deck of cards in my opinion, because it's all about like choosing one over the other. But I don't know, I just didn't really find their cards useful at all. Baptiste, his cards are it's just okay as well. There's nothing super interesting. It's pretty basic as well. Min's cards are, I'd say, slightly better. We have most of our cards don't really take that much. Well, I wouldn't say most, but 2 of our cards take 0. So those are pretty good filler cards you could put in your deck as well. And Corsac's cards, I also didn't use his. His is like a whole separate mode. Like you have like these stances and stuff. Yeah, I did not really use his cards at all. Okay, Sidriel's cards are probably the best cards. Quinn and Sid have the best cards, but I think Sid's cards are slightly better just because she has certain cards where you can kind of take advantage of and basically guarantee your win. Maybe you can already tell by this and the cards that I have. Maybe you can figure it out, but yeah, you can, you can draw cards of 0 or 1 patience and maybe pair it with, muscle memory or some other of these. Yeah, she's really good. So yeah, I mean, this game is just super fun, And I'd say one more tip is if you do play this game, you really want to buy if you want to really make sure you do the best in this game, do not even care about the negative attributes. You just want to get items that have a whole lot of one Magimin. So I don't know if I can show you guys. Let me see if I have one here. Like this one has 80 A's, 80 C's, and 80 D's. And that's fine. But I'd rather prefer something that has a whole bunch of, like this one. This one was very useful. The dwarf kraken has 40 A's and nothing else. And yes, it does have one negative trait, but you're probably gonna be using a bunch of these guys. The ones with just a lot of one letter. Those are going to be the most useful. Like this one as well. This has 24 B's. So this one has 30 B's. So something like this, you're going to use a lot. Like, don't even care about the negative traits or whatever. Like, those become like nothing. Yeah. And one more tip I would say is you want to sell your potions based on everyday events that boost certain potion prices. Let me go into my different save file actually. Let's go into this one. So as you can see here, these are the events. So bad sensation trait has more impact. Shadow steep increased loop drops, and there's also negative ones. But yeah, based on those, oh yeah, right, it's up here on the top left. But you want to utilize these to your advantage. Sometimes they will say something like, oh yeah, these certain potions, petrification potions are worth a lot today. Then you want to sell a bunch of those. You want to prep up a bunch of those. Okay, it doesn't say it here either, but you get the drill. So I would definitely recommend this game to anybody who, just likes interesting characters, being able to interact with those characters, and just any kind of management type of game. This game is just super fun. I'd say I'd pay like $25 for it because it is really short, but yeah. That's all for my review. Bye.